Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? So, yeah, pennies from heaven is you got all these problems, and then you pick up an instrument, and it's sharpened so much. My coordination, I've got arthritis, and I'm keeping myself limber. I've got some aging plus medical, medicines affect your thinking, and it's brought me back in so many ways. And I'm not even going to a music therapist, but a music therapist would know what to tell me to do. But so I studied this, and it took me a long time to learn it. But the brain development that I know happened and the benefits brought me back to sharp. I chose something, I'm an old jazzer, and I found out that on this little instrument, it took me a long time, and it sharpened my focus. And I'm aging, and I'm starting to see some of the short-term memory issues and certain things. And then I just entertained you, and I bet that brought a smile. Yeah, so there's been emotional effects, mood effects, maybe lower some anxieties and such. Pennies from heaven. And my PhD is in music education. And in relation to music therapy, my knowledge, scholarly knowledge, comes from teaching a class called Music in the Mind. Little offshoot of experience comes from knowing people in the field. Right down to it, music therapy is the targeted use of music for very specific whatever it is that they're having therapy for, just like a physical therapist would work on your leg if it's your leg, and then the systemic things, sometimes things are routed to somewhere else. There's music listening, there's singing, there's drumming, there's other instruments, any kind of instruments, and then it's a relationship of when they use these instruments or singing. Is it by themselves? Is it just with one-on-one? Or is it the prescription would be then to go and create a drum circle? And so there are social benefits of doing it in groups. Is it to go join a band as kind of a prescriptive thing to go join a band? Or to sing in a choir. So there's social benefits, which then also the metabolism benefits of making music and all kinds. It can be in a hospital setting, it could be a children's hospital, it could be just to calm anxiety, to even someone in a coma, music in the background because they can see activity effects and things. Getting ready for surgery, after surgery, during the operation, doctors plug in music and such, but the music therapists themselves could just play a guitar at a bedside to calm someone, or give a little child instruments just to rattle, and they're facing some huge dilemma, medical issue, and they're smiling and playing along for mood change, and which then changes the metabolism and the whole mental approach to being in the hospital. And then it's targeted to any number of brain injuries, brain issues, learning problems, autism spectrum. The problems there are like limited focus on another person. Well, when you're making music and you trade off instruments, or you're echoing, in a private session, here boom ba boom ba boom. Now you play boom to boom to boom. All of a sudden they're looking at you, and it trains you, the person, the client, to focus attention, which is a problem. And so right and left hemisphere. Basic bodily reactions are low in the brain, in the older brain, closer to the body, the brain stem, cerebellum. And so some of this you don't even have to go up to the higher levels of thinking. So someone just reacting, just to get someone reacting bodily, and they have problems, coordination or whatever, you can just go, and all of a sudden it's going to trigger things that they don't need the higher thoughts. And so get that coordination, or just coordinating, hitting musical in the drum, then is coordinating the body, which then comes higher up. You get the emotional center in the middle, the limbic area, and the the middle limbic, where that's where it gives you the jolt of happy or fear and all of that stuff. So if somebody's like fearful, you do things that trigger a whole different emotional, and it changes those habits of mind. And then the higher levels of thinking in the front, where we think, and any kind of rerouting, building can be triggered by music, because music is the most brain engaging connectivity, pump up the brain activity that they've ever measured. But the huge influx of people coming up into retirement age, we could prevent a lot of the problems. And just outside of music therapy, just getting more people, therapists in charge of more things, could proactively distract from the possibility of a lot of people falling apart in older age. Music is that strong.